Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where I'm excited to introduce the Protoss player in the red. Not the one we deserve, but the one we need right now. The light of Protoss, the smiling assassin. It's herO. But where there's light, you best believe there's dark. The final boss on the other side of the map in the blue. A best of 5 Protoss versus Zerg. And when I said dark was on the other side of the map, that's not entirely true. Dark slapping down a hatchery in herO's natural, just like I'm gonna ask you to slap that like button. Jimmy, what? 1,211 likes. We're back to dark versus herO. I don't know how many times I've asked you in this matchup to like and subscribe, but I'm gonna ask you at least one more. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get a little bit cheesier. As dark with the economical proxy hatch, all right? He's going for it, right up in herO's face. This is not intended to actually complete, but instead be the much more dramatic equivalent of doing a pylon block on the other side, like Protoss players are so fond of doing to the Zergs. herO moving the probe around so that way the drone can't easily escape. Actually body blocking it from either building an Evo chamber in that little spot of creep there. He actually commits to the Zealot. Obviously, without it, it would have been tough to actually kill the hatchery in time. And the drone will continue to scurry around, making everyone uncomfortable. And just generally being an antisocial creature. So, if that reminds you of an average day at the office, well, remember, it's better to be the drone than to be the Zealot. Thank you for coming to my TEDx talk. Adept. Looking. Well, he splits the legs. herO calls his bluff there. Cancels the Adept Shade at the last moment. Getting a decent amount of kills. Did he actually get a drone in there? He loses the Adept. Oh, wait, another one. Revolving shades of Adepts. He did not get a drone, despite some opportunities, but Dark only has 23, now 25 drones. But in order to go for a, believe it or not, a hatchery is not the cheapest thing you can build. Oh my god, the drone still going. Droning on and on and on. Zerglings. Zergling speed is nearly complete while the Adept continues to scout. Hey, have you guys seen my Dronely fans? You made that joke yesterday. You can't make... The only joke is Stalker DPS. Finally takes it out. Stargate is on the way, but a Twilight is slapped down the moment the drone is taken out. He doesn't cancel the Stargate. Having a Stargate is never a bad idea. But that does indicate that herO wants to switch things up as quickly as possible. After he gets that, probably at the initial Oracle. Wow, just abandoning the Stalker. Shades away. See you later. Wouldn't want to be. That was pretty hardcore of the Adepts there. Trying to get out of a sticky situation. Shades back to the other side of the map. Another Stalker warped in. The Overlord finally, well, down it goes. More like explodes, not really down, but... Adept Glave's right behind. And this time around, Dark will be rebuffed without a single Stalker to maul to death. Which disappoints him in many ways. Whole bunch of Overlords on the way, more than making up for the one lost on the other side. The Adept count might be getting a little suspicious here to Dark. He doesn't have a Roach Warren, and he has a whole lot of Zerglings. The fact he's making even more Zerglings makes me think that he's kind of figured this out. He knows he needs more. It's not going to be enough Lings to really pressure the third, but it's enough to keep the Adepts busy or counterattack here. Yeah, that is a lot. 50 shades, well... It's going to have glaives, not quite 50 adepts. He's only got 10 of them. But it'll add up over time. Roachhorn on the way. That is... the queens are not going to be enough. More Zerglings in production. Get some damage onto the Oracle, so that's something. The adepts, though, shading all the way by. The queens don't do particularly much damage, and the drones, as well as the lings, will get sliced up before they can even close the distance. Need an overwhelming amount of Zerglings, and even then, it's very hard to get the wraparound on those adepts. The lair is about to complete. The assimilator itself, not assimilator, extractor, I don't know, is actually taken down. The Zerglings trying to keep the adepts at bay. It will be a costly engagement, but herO will be cleaned up. But wait, there's more. Some adepts shading out, some adepts shading in. You can't explain that. But Dark has enough Zerglings to remain a threat, even a roach mixed in there. The queens, mostly still intact. And, well, herO just keeps building adepts, so... He's still got 10 adepts. He's lost a dozen of them, 50 Zerglings. Not a horrible trade at all. Double Robo on the way behind. As herO just leaning on the adepts for all they're worth, and maybe a little bit more than that. Another shade headed towards the natural. Roaches and queens rebuff him at the third. And back at home, a +1. Is that a second Twilight Council? herO! herO. It's one of those situations where, because you did some sort of silly cheese, you kind of forgot you had that building. Like Terrans with an armory, or Zerg players with about half their tech tree. Yeah. I think herO realized he was building a second Twilight. How many Robos? He's building another Robo with the bait. He canceled the Robo. I take it back. That was another Robo finishing at the third. He's got double Robo at the third. Just count the Robo. They're right there. Immortal and shield. Not a shield better, a cannon on the way. Did he spot the spire? Indeed he does. The revealed drones give just enough video. I think the extractor actually betraying the spire there. Blink is on the way. Does herO remember he has a Stargate and can build phoenixes? Is it going to be relevant? Another important question. Does Dark realize that... I think he has to assume the spire was spotted at this stage. Even if he's not 100% sure, you have to work under that assumption. Then again, who am I to assume what Dark is assuming? That is quite presumptuous of me. I do apologize. Formally. From me and my entire family. Alright, Spire nearly complete. Dark, 400 gas in the bank, so not enough for a huge swell of mutas if that's the direction he wants to go. And herO. Ooh. Stasis actually working against herO. He's trapped in a prison of his own design. The Zerglings can't be killed. They're frozen out. herO. Oh no. The stasis was perfect for Dark. Oh god. If they were just Zerglings he could kill, then maybe they wouldn't have been such trouble to extract themselves from. But instead, loses a big chunk of his adepts and some of his stalkers, trying to maneuver through it. Melee attack level 1. Dark hasn't bothered with the mutas. He's got +1 flyer attack on the way. But he knew that herO was looking for it, and he focused entirely on the ground army. So many Ravagers. That's where his gas mostly went, but he's got enough money in the bank. He might as well add on mutas here. Oh, he got 800. Yeah, there we go. Throwing a few into production. Dark actually a bit supply blocked. Running trend. herO putting together the Blink Stalkers. And the Oracle barely holds on. A recall of pretty much everything. Dark goes for the surround, almost gets the Oracle, but ends up with very little. Recall just barely in time, besides these two Stalkers, the obligatory. Oh. Wow, that was a clever move. Meanwhile, the Ravagers on the other side. Corrosive Bow come through. herO actually, again, pulled the wool over his eyes. And Dark left in himself for a moment. Muta's on the way. How many? He's got a dozen. And there are no phoenixes. Down goes the Oracle. Get off my creep! The Queen's taken down, but the Mutas are added in. +1 fire attack, not quite done, but it's just Zerglings underneath. The Stalker's not particularly good at taking any of this out quickly. He's got +1, blinking back, looking for more. The Muta's maneuvering around, finding a better angle to hit the Blink Stalkers with the Zerglings to cover. And herO is retreating down 70 supply. The Stalkers just ain't cutting it right now. And the upgrades are only getting better for Dark. 8 more Stalkers warped in, trying to micro back. But now that Dark is knocking on the door, how will herO ever strike back? The Observers and the Queens, I don't know what's going on there. But I believe herO, he's not building out of his Stargate. Dark now has the supply. He has the map control. He has the Unicum. He held the Mutas. Now, the Blink Stalkers get a couple. He's actually just fighting. God, Stalkers suck so hard. Dark takes it. herO. Done. Leaning on those gateway units for just far too long. And he leaned a bit too far. And he went overboard. It ends up being a victory for Dark in game 1. A convoluted match, but as Dark versus herO games go, that was positively tame. A proxy hatch into some Glaive Adepts with a relatively decisive conclusion. Alright, we're just warming up. These two, I mean, they're teammates. They've played each other more than anyone else. They may have the most common rivalry of all. What I mean by that is they may have played each other more than any other two professional players have played anyone. I know for certain. They overall herO has the better end of the series. I believe it's about 52 to 55%. I haven't checked lately. But last I checked, a couple months ago, herO was at about 55% against Dark, historically. That's through the last 13 years or so. Maybe a little less for both of them, but Dark, of course, not intimidated by such statistics. I do want to take a moment. I did forget because Dark interrupted me so rudely with that proxy hatchery. But this is from the Harrisburg University StarCraft 2 tournament. And also there's a link in the description after you like and subscribe. A free gift card if you fill out I assume and I believe StarCraft related questionnaire. This is a bit of a scientific study alongside a StarCraft tournament, which is cool to be able to mix those two things. But the link should be in the description if Jimmy didn't screw it up again. Sorry. But, game 1. Good to see Mutas getting damage done. But it feels like herO kind of had it coming. Staying on the Adepts just a smidge too long, and he gets smattered across the field. Alright, heckity. Everyone's bases are on their side of the map, or at least the side they started on. They might have different opinions on what their side means. Stalker first. He's just going to try to kill the Ovi right there. Now, Dark had to know. No, he didn't. Nope, it's just going to die. Okay. Nope, it just dies. I thought he had some big brain like, I get back. Nope.
He's dead, Jim.
And Dark is a bit supply blocked as well, so. I'm not going to call it a mistake. But I'm certainly not going to call it a victory for Dark. Well, Stalker first at least means there won't be an Adept quite as quick. But hard to ascertain too much more info there. The Zerglings coming across. Dark with a later Zergling speed in favor of getting a few more drones. Getting that third base up. herO looking for a third base of his own. Quite early on. First Oracle heading across the map. Queens, looking to intercept. Oracle swerves away. Remember when you could fly, Queens? How dare you? Little, interesting pylon placement there at the third. Choosing to put it right inside the mineral line. The most protected area. Protoss players have to decide how to, how little or much to reduce their mining efficiency in order to remain safe. Because your mining efficiency is pretty poor if all your probes are dead. Well, I guess statistically it would be fine. But, you know what? We're not here for that. Moving on. Either way.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster.
Twilight Forge behind. 4 Adepts shading in. The Adept team. A-team for short. Just enough to force a response out of the Zerg without being a huge commitment. Oracle's burning through the Queen. Softened up on the way out. Whoa, okay. Here. The team has grown. He's got that Twilight. He's really leading on these Adepts today. Gonna find some of the drones. Blink behind. Really trying to get... He's trying to convince Dark he wants roaches. I think Dark is pretty convinced so far, but behind it, it's Blink and +1. Which means herO is countering the counter here. Trying to be a step or two ahead. Streets ahead, even. If he's able to do so. And the Oracle. No, Oracles here. Doing a pretty good job of giving detection via revelation. The Adepts. 10 more drones on the way. Dark's not having it. He's not biting. No roaches in production. herO seems to be very adamant about doing this early aggression here. Or at least making it look good. I think Dark's figured it. He just built a Spire. Now, against a Blink first, the Spire... another Stasis. Quite annoying. A bit safer than trying to actually burn those drones up with the Oracles. And Blink +1, finishing up. Dark has almost no units and he's supply blocked. He's going to be finishing some OVs, but he may very well just die here. The proxy gate. Yeah, he just has these Zerglings, which are not remotely enough. He's building a Spire, but even though he realized that it wasn't going to be any sort of super early aggression, the Queens are doing okay. Adept shade through, which may... Oh, no. Well, drones are not great at fighting. Zerglings come back. The Spire is spotted. Yes, it's just hanging out right there. One Adept gets through. Queens battling Stalkers. Which, you know, they're a surprisingly good match in equal numbers. 5 mutas on the way, but yeah, Dark just tapping it out this time. All right. herO just kind of walks up and kills him, which... All right. Dark getting a little ahead of himself. Seesawing back and forth. Dark versus herO. You never know what to expect. That's a quote from both players. We're all tied up. It's 1-1. herO sending out the probe early. So Dark currently has a 100% win rate with proxy hatching. I mean, I wouldn't attribute it all to the proxy hatch, but it's certainly kind of altered the state of the early game. What's it going to be this time? We're on Oceanborn. Nothing untoward. I'm feeling some DTs. All right. It's been a while. I think herO set the scene for DTs quite well. Like, between all the Twilight plays here, both games, really committed. If you can slip a couple DTs in, you can maybe sneak another win. Dark also getting supply blocked in half a dozen different ways that game. Certainly helping out. It can be so devastating as Zerg because of the way larva works. Larva, the basic larva on the hatchery, you know, the basic tier, not premium plus hatchery inject larva. Anyway, so every 10 to 15 seconds, I believe it's 12 seconds or so, it generates a larva, up to 3. So if you get supply blocked and you're not able to spend that larva on drones or zerglings or what have you, you're essentially wasting it because you want to be able to recycle it and get another one out as quickly as possible. Otherwise, that's larva unutilized. Which is a tragedy. A minor tragedy. Which I think that's just called an inconvenience, but minor tragedy. Like waking up and thinking you have that snack you really like and then looking for it and remembering you ate it yesterday, but you were so tired you couldn't really enjoy it. Sure, it's an inconvenience, but it's also a tragedy. It's about the emotion behind it, I think. I shouldn't think about food while casting. It's not a good thing. Alright, believe it or not, I've eaten once or twice. Though I still remain committed to the cause of casting. I will continue to do so, no matter how I need to butter my biscuit. Adept wandering in. Well, not really wandering, but spots the third, takes note of the drone count, some worker harassment, and gets out. Metabolic boost, almost completed. And how many Zerglings? Only 6 Lings on the field, enough to surround and kill an Adept, but not much more than that. Adding a couple more now. Dark looks like he wants to intercept the third base, ideally before it starts. herO with just enough slaps down the Nexus. And not quite enough Lings here. Good positioning. Will he go for it? He goes for it. herO, whoa, 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 he move commanded. Wasn't expecting Dark to be so committed. The Zerglings will get the Adepts. 1 survivor. Go tell your friends what happened here. Also taking a lot of damage for 2 drones, as is customary. That's another one of my pet peeves. All right, long list. That's about halfway down, I'd say. Is the flying by while there's a spore and a queen. You are going to take hull damage. And then you got to babysit that. It's not like you have SCVs to repair it. You're going to have to babysit that Oracle for the rest of the game. Is it worth 2 drones? Maybe. But so many times you see 1 or 2 Oracles like in the red or deep orange. Which are beautiful colors, but not exactly what you want to see on your unit so early. Sometimes you get like 4 or 5 drones, and that really does feel like it's worth it. But I'd say 2, not so much. Zergling runs by. Unrelated. Dark supply blocked again from an Overlord die. He's building 3. Adept glaives out of herO. Oracles. Hydralisks. A Hydralisk dead. herO does have 3 bases. He's still building probes. Hydralisks. Hydralisks are actually pretty good against Adepts just because of their range. Of course, in low numbers, they're going to struggle. But Dark just pulling out his roulette wheel and deciding his build from there, it seems. So, this is a counter to what herO did last game, actually. It isn't random. The Hydras are much better against Blink Stalkers. If you know they're going Blink Stalkers. But this time around, herO has bamboozled him with the Adept Shades. And while the Adepts... I don't know. Hydras are also light units, despite their relatively slowness. and struggle against the Adepts in large numbers. Adept Glaive done. Transfuse not enough. Just assassinates a queen. Gets another one. Backing off. herO has a good enough economy to potentially transition into maybe Colossi even here. But the Hydra count is growing, and once it reaches a critical mass, it becomes almost impossible to do much, especially with these gateway units. Ooh, stasis. Well, helps out a little bit in blocking out the Adepts. But a lot of the Adepts gonna shade through. Some of them left behind. Didn't complete the shade on everything. Dark gonna be losing a lot of drones here. The question is how many Adepts he can take out in turn. Looks like another queen slaughtered by the resonating glaives. But, oh, the Zerglings pop out at an opportune timing here. The Oracle's on the back line. A Lurker Den is on the way. There's the Robo Bay. Things are escalating in the tech tree and in the supplies in general. Blink and some Immortals in production. herO really going. He's leaning heavy on the Adepts here. Oh, the Hydra count. He doesn't have muscular augments. That's going to help, especially off a creep. Only a single Stalker mixed in. Not bothering with the Overlord here. That's so many Adepts. He's got 18 Adepts. I mean, he just jumps on the Hydras. He's going for it. And, I think it's working. I think Dark taken aback by that as well. It doesn't feel like something you should be doing. More shades into the third. Stasis clock the queens. Another one. Oh my, okay, we get it. We get it. You have stasis. And the Adepts are working. I think they've already done it. It's so confusing. I've never seen something quite like this. Well, he doesn't, the stasises are definitely helping significantly. Locking out the queens at the best possible timing. Dark is down to 50 drones. herO completes 2. Can chase down the drones with the natural. Not really focused on. Takes out the Nexus. Or, I'm sorry, Hatchery. The Adepts, he's not going for it. So, at what cost? 28 Adepts. No, it's definitely been worth it. He's done it. He did the damage here and he kept the Adepts. A lot of the time, you trade the Adepts for damage. But he's kept a core of them alive. Good splits against the Ruptors. But there's another one. The Lurkers are here. Lurkers! Well, that's a dangerous proposition. Adepts trying to shade through. The Disruptors are a pretty solid counter to the Lurkers. Especially before Hive Tech. And Hive Tech is a long way off for Dark here. More cannons on the way. Decent Ruptor hit. 3 Hydras. Things are getting more and more difficult. It is most of this. Oh, big hits! Another volley! That was enough. He did the damage there. The Lurkers are desperate now. He's got the revelation. All he's got to do, GGG, he says. Dark realizing it's just not going to go very well. Wow. These are some crazy... I can't tell if that worked because, like, despite what Dark was doing or because of what Dark was doing. Because the Hydras are the counter to the Blankstalkers. Rarely do we see such a rock, paper, scissors sort of game where the Adepts counter Lings and Hydras. The Hydras and Lings counter Blankstalkers. But once you reach a certain unit count, they all start to kind of overlap. But they did a great job against just Hydras, because Adepts get that huge bonus damage to light units. So when they're able to isolate them, well, herO able to take a comfortable victory. Okay, not comfortable. I keep using words like that. It wasn't comfortable. That one was definitely a stressful seesaw right there. I wasn't sure where we were going to end up. But with the Disruptors coming out in time and Dark unable to get to... Oh, he's trying to do a 3-hatch before pool. But here, hey, what you doing over there? Hey. And then it just comes back for it? Okay. I'm not sure if he was looking for a cannon rush pylon. You know what? Maybe just lurking around. Maybe trying to make the probe suspicious. He may have thought of a 3-hatch P4 pull, but it took too long to come together. Definitely interesting. Or, of course, you could try to dive down for your natural if the probe chases the first drone towards the third. But, alright, things settled down from the early drama of probe versus drone. Probe gonna flirt with some minerals here. Maybe inspired by Raynor's. I've never seen someone flirt with minerals with a probe like Raynor has. 3,000 APM gather. Oh, not like that. Alright. Raynor definitely with a different style of Protoss than herO lately. And also, just side note acknowledging how crazy it is that we're talking about Raynor as Protoss. Tired of being overshadowed by Cyril as Zerg. Also, just generally, ZVZ is an ordeal. Oh my god. The late pylon. The probe. You saw the tension between the drone and the probe. Will they, won't they? And they came up the ramp. Well, bit of a Dear John letter, that pylon, but the probe will be leaving. One way or another. Oracle. But what's it gonna be this time? What do we got on the charcuterie board? Adepts? I'm still waiting for those DTs. Alright, the Adept glaives are working. Dark seems to keep trying different angles of dealing with them. And so far, coming up mostly short. Even in game 1, it didn't feel like the Adepts did poorly. It's just herO overcommitted, as so often is the case with Adepts. This is an odd scenario. Oracle on the other side of the map kills 2 drones. This time it's in the red. Okay. But I got 2 drones, so totally worth it. Think of the emotional damage that he did. Now, if I'm the Zerg in that scenario, which I have been many, many times, I'm very happy. I'm like, all right, now I don't have to deal with that guy again. He's going to come back, put a stasis down, and block half my Zerglings. Well, third base on the way. Where we going, herO? 2 more gases. He's banking up a lot of gas already. Is this a mass Stargate? Twilight. On the later side. Maybe something resembling a macro build. The aggression has been hot and heavy throughout the series, but Zerglings try to poke in. Didn't find anything at the third. There's some Adepts tucked in over there. Ah, yes, but that, no. Well. I told you to stay home today. Oracle's sliding around. Another one, he likes the triumvirate here. The treacles. Sorry. Usually gives you enough to both slap down a revelation and have a stasis or 2 ready. A bit of energy in a pinch if you need to burn out some Zerglings. It is a nice number, but they are costly units. At 150, they cost as much as the Stargate themselves. Uh-oh. Well, Zerglings on hold position. Not too many probes here, which is a good thing for herO in this scenario. This is the most low APM possible probe harass. Hold position, Zerglings. Down goes another Oracle. He gets the hatchery. We're gonna have to ask ourselves that question, though. At what? Because it is a rush to Fleet Beacon. He is getting Blinking +1, but we got a Fleet Beacon already on the way. A Spire for Dark. I think Dark again anticipating the Adepts, and herO has plenty of them, but it's going to be Blinking +1, as well as Fleet Beacon, and a second Stargate behind. So, the Spire could find some use, though maybe not the use that Dark expects. He didn't get an Overseer in, right? No, he hasn't even seen the main the entire game. So he has no idea, or at least no concrete evidence as to what herO is doing. Well, Zerglings, soften up the Adepts. Make sure that their exit is not very comfortable. Carriers. We're going carriers. Alright. Spire is on the way. Oracle will get the spot. Thinking about a stasis, I'm sure, but far too many queens there. Another Stargate. So it's just going to be straight up carriers. Sure, he has the Blink Stalkers, but the meat of this build is going to be the carriers. Ranged Phoenix. Playing off the... Well, he's getting there. There's no upgrades for carriers. Graviton Catapult was removed many moons ago. The Blink Stalker's coming up. Still a danger in and of themselves. Enough Zerglings. He saw the stasis, triggers it. There aren't any more within. Phoenix is on the way. Pretty convinced that Dark is going to build Mutas. Dark obliges. But, again, this fight. I don't know if he has a recall, but it's too late. You can't get it. You're not getting out. These units are dead. Losing a lot of Stalkers here. The carriers are coming across the map. Doesn't necessarily want to reveal them so early. Muta's on the way. These Mutas are going to be very dead to the Phoenixes. But he didn't make that many. He's got 6 Mutas. Yeah, the Phoenixes... Oh, he has hard countered the Mutas. Muta's about to be removed from the map here. Yeah. Phoenix range is done. He just flies the other way, realizing not going to get much more out of this. Corruptors in production. There's not much else to be done for Dark, as it's far too late to even think about Hydras. Infestors are definitely important, but he doesn't even have an infestation pit. He's just going to brute force it. Mass Corruptor. A direct response to a very direct path to Stargate. Because there is no Templar Archives. It's just going to be Blink Stalkers on the ground. Without Archons, Mass Corruptor is more than capable of dealing with this early Stargate play. herO doesn't have any air upgrades. Right, he is doing more and more damage here. Very technically, the Phoenixes outrange Corruptors. The reason is, even though they have similar range, is that they attack while moving, whereas Corruptors have to actually line up their shot to an extent. But so many more Corruptors on the way. There's the ever-important Templar Archives. Yes, while you might get some ladder points by massing up carriers, against someone like Dark, you're gonna need a little bit more support. Flux Veins on the way as well. Gonna go mass Void, or you could just go Void Rays, which also burn through. The one thing we're really missing, the air upgrades, which are so important. Especially for carriers. You really, really need those upgrades. Especially as time goes on. Corruptors have a base armor to work with, and they're pretty tanky units in and of themselves. Carriers don't do that much DPS until they start getting the upgrades. Well, we'll see. Shield battery overcharge. Stasis, beautiful stasis field, but some banelings are rolling in. 13 probes, 15 probes underneath here. Trying to get some target fire going on. Down goes the shield battery. The Corruptor's just tanking. Corrosive Bio landing on the carriers here. Another stasis triggers over to the left side. Looks like the Nexus will die, but so will all the Corruptors. Massive Void Ray is in production. Gonna try to deal with the Corruptors head on. This is a Lair Tech Zerg, so while Dark may win the start of the fight, the Stargate units will chase him down and at least take several tons of flesh on the way out. It is painful to retreat from Phoenixes and Speed Rays. Dark with another round. Hasn't even built an infestation pit. herO, still no upgrades in the skies. But Dark, he's got +1 flyer attack. He's willing to throw away. And he has already thrown away a significant... how many? He lost 14 Corruptors, 6 Mutas. Of course, he killed 4 carriers. And all of the Oracles. I think an Oracle was rebuilt. Nope. Wait, what? The things I've seen. Yeah, that's your job. You're an Oracle. Come on, bro. Yes, he has 6 HP. Somehow survived that last fight. Infestation bit on the way as Dark admits this game might go more than 1 more minute. But he's going to try to make it end by then either way. Stasis. On point. The Banelings. Stasis. Means that the Phoenixes can't deal with it, but some of the Archons are going to get caught. And the Roach Zergling is driven back for now. Or frozen out. Mothership on the way. Alright. Mothership, Void Ray, Kara. How many Void Rays in there? He's got 5 Void Rays. Still no Hive out of Dark. Trying to kite with Corruptors. Doing an okay job. Void Rays aren't charged up yet. Lings and Banes. There's a very precarious stasis. The Roaches and Lings. More Banelings. Oh my, the Archon holding the door though. Perfect Archon. All the Banelings exhausted, and Dark has so much money. What's he gonna spend it? 20 I said it was too late to go Hydras. Dark said no, it was too early. And Hydra switch? Were the Corruptors doing so poorly? Well, this is partially to counter the Void Rays, but there's not that many. You know what? Well, we'll just have to see how it goes. Hydra is much better against a Void Ray Phoenix than the Corruptors, but there's a lot of Archons on the ground. herO could maybe get Storm. Stasis triggered. Handful of Lings. 12 Hydras on the way. Groovy Spines as well for the range. Lurker Den. He triggers... Nope. herO. That had to be a misclick there. herO triggers the active cloaking field. Just testing it out. Not an ideal timing to be... Are there... You know, if he had that active cloaking, he might be able to win the game. As there's not a single Overseer on the map. Unfortunately, herO fat-fingering the cloak may be a deciding factor as the Hydras close in from all sides. Oh my god. Oh no. It's a disaster. And only herO knows it. Only herO realizes the opportunity he missed. Oh, the Corruptors just sprayed all over a Nexus, which is considered in many cultures to be a dick move. And 4 Lurkers in production. That's all Dark can build right now. I'm really struggling. Like, the production tab is all over the place. These fights are all over the place. What is going on here? We're brawling it out. Like, well, 2 Phoenixes, that a gust of wind would blow away. Against 3 Corruptors, the Phoenixes win barely with some surprisingly intense micro. Dark is now getting the Hive Tech. Which Hive Tech? Yeah, pretty much. He's got Vipers, Adrenal Glands, Lurker, Hive Tech upgrades. He's starting with Adaptive Talents over Lurker range, which it tells a story. +3 Flyer attack and 3/3 attack upgrades. So yeah, Dark is going Hive. Meanwhile, herO has some unupgraded Sky Toss with a Ragtag. He is maxed out with +3 ground weapons. And Storm is complete. So here we go. But the Lurkers! The Lurkers, does he have detection? There's gotta be, he's building an observer. Everyone's kind of all over the place on the detection. Both forgetting they might need it. Oh no, oh. Show me one more time. Yeah, you know what happened. You know that Protoss flying city housing thousands upon thousands of people? Well, Protoss, I don't know if they count, but that one? Anyways, get over here. Picks it up, knocks it down. At least he gets a time warp out, I guess. The mothership, -300, 300. Yes. It's cheaper now, but it's also weaker. Oh my. But the army? Just carving its way through the north side. More Zerglings versus Zealots. Another mothership on the way. Actually doubling down on it. And herO doesn't really have the money to rebuild much, so choosing a mothership is a significant choice. 29 drones on the way for Dark. Gonna bring it back up to 70, but the Lurkers are scampering forth. Observers. Oh, there's no real detection. Over to the 4th base. The carriers, one of them left out. Phoenixes pick up the Lurkers. They'll get surrounded by the charge lots. herO. What? Who's... Well, Dark has the economy. He's building 14 more Lurkers. Dark has had a massive income advantage for most of, essentially all of 10 minutes. But, well, how many carriers are left? 0. That's not very many. Huh. So, I guess anti-air requirements are quite low in that case. Oh my god. Oh my god. +3 melee attack. Completed at that moment. +3 melee attack still one-shots probes. No longer +2. It takes that Hive Tech, but it literally, the last second, I think he had enough nailings he could have hit with 2, but it all came together. Okay, so now a mothership and some Void Rays. Yanks in a Void Ray, knocks it down. herO, some changelings could block the... Oh, God. Oh, this Nexus was never rebuilt? Or it died again. I'm not sure which one. The Zerglings are starting to rip apart the production. herO is supply blocked. I don't think he's getting out of that. That is far too many Lurkers. It may be check and mate if herO doesn't do something. herO just kind of idling. Is that a mother? He's recalling over. Brings everyone. Pops out the storms. The Lurkers just obliterated underneath the massive recall attempt here. But the Disruptors at point-blank range fighting the Lurker. The Lurker kills some of the Ruptors, loses an Observer, has 2 more. Yanks an Eruptor. The active cloaking. The mothership is almost dead, and herO's running out of army. The Lurkers are just eviscerating him. It's just too much. Feedbacks, but it's too late. The Hydra's knocked down the mothership, and with it, he ties up the series. 2-2. That's more like it. Alright, that's the Dark versus herO that I know and love. Might be am intensely interested in. Love is not the right word. Alright, but I can't speak the right words here. And maintain monetization. So, moving on to the final game. The final countdown. Dark versus Hero yet again, delivering some of the most entertaining and unpredictable StarCraft 2. Nothing is more unpredictable than two players who know exactly what their opponent wants to do. And it seemed to be continually playing around it. Well, it started with a proxy hatch. It'll end without one, all right? I don't, just because it seems like I'm leading into something, doesn't. Stay on your toes, mentally, in this case. All right, game 5. We're on hard lead. herO with some solid victories off the Adepts and early gateway timings, but Dark clawing one back with that late game anti. I'm not even sure. herO without the air weapons upgrades, at least, seems like gross negligence to me. Not like 100, 150 gas really was going to find too much use anywhere else. So, Dark pummeling that army with layer tech right up until he wasn't. Taking up just at the right time. What's it? It's going to be a Stargate. Is it finally time for my DT game? I've been waiting. There's no obligation to have a DT game. I just want to see DTs. Ideally when Dark doesn't see them. I don't know why. I'm in a DT mood today. I don't know what that says about me. Don't read into it too much. Not everything means something. Sometimes... Moving on. Four more Zerglings. Oh, one of the drones gets caught, demonstrating why Protoss players will go through significant effort in order... Oh, that's a lot of links. The drones! Oh, but then he just gets... Oh, because he's microing on the other side. The Zerglings are... One Zergling is in the main. More Zerglings are trickling in. Oh, the drones almost had this around there. But another couple Zerglings into the natural. We'll start working on the probes. And the another Adept comes out. He may be able to get one probe. Zergling speed is done. Is he gonna get out? Looking at another probe. No, he just gets out. Wait, there's more Zerglings. Things are escalating. He found another Adept. But wait, there's more. It's like a Scooby-Doo montage here. Doors opening and closing, and Zerglings coming in and out, and Oracle. Zerglings go out, and you take the mask off, and it was max packs the entire time. Which, not sure how we would know that. I wasn't sure what the punchline was going to be there. But they're both dark. That was a better one. Well, third base on the way. Pylon, real tucked in there. Twilight Council. And he's got 2 more gases on the way. +1. Oh, a forge in production as well. Leaning towards the blink, it seems. And a robotics facility. So, bringing everything together, completing the tech tree here. Meanwhile, the queens, 2 queens not going to be enough, but 3 should cut it. A few more lings on the way. Zerglings poke in towards the 3rd. Spot the layout. Stasis. Yeah, they do outrange the stasis. You can potentially just target it down like that. I think Dark unsure for a moment. A lot of Zerglings, though. herO getting an Adept caught. He needs Oracles back home. They're flying back. But losing even one Adept could pry open the defenses. herO lights up all 3 Oracles, but 5 probes down. Not ideal here at all. Losing all that energy on the Oracles and, of course, 5 probes. Mass Charge Slot Archon. This time around, though, Dark, I think, has read it. At least he's not trying to hard counter Blinkstar. He's got the Roach Horn on the way, is what I'm leading up to. Having the Roach Horn means you're ready to deal with the Depth Glaives. You're not in a horrible spot against Blinkstalkers. And charge lots are not necessarily a major issue. The Oracle back at home has to light up. The fact that Zealots are being warped in, a little suspicious here. 32 more Zerglings, +1 melee about to complete. And until +1 ground weapons completes for herO, the Zerglings are going to do just fine. Once you have +1 ground for Protoss, Zealots take 2 hits to kill things. 2 attacks as opposed to 3. Which is a significant DPS boost. But until then, the Zerglings are actually going to trade really well. And the Zerglings, they don't stop coming. herO comes back 3-4 times. Again, he's forced to light up the Oracles on defense. Again, herO forced to play defense at all. Even though he clearly wants to be aggressive here. Dark only has 57 drones. I think this time around, Dark has cost him a bit too much. Only 57 drones is not really enough to progress a significant economy. He's kind of locked into building more units. herO has a lot on the field. He just needs to make the right calls with them. Yes, Dark has the supply lead, but Roaches are not a particularly supply-efficient unit. It's a bit misleading when they're out there. And the Oracles, he could light him up. He's waiting for the commitment. I think the Queens are on the way. Or Dark, yeah, 7 more drones. Never mind, I take it back. As Dark does. The Roaches scampering, scuttling forth. Still enough Roaches. herO supply blocked by the tape. No! It wasn't on hold position! herO! And he has to bring the army back. Thankfully, Dark doesn't have his Roaches in position, or this could have been an utter disaster. Dark actually pulls back with everything here. This is still certainly not great. herO loses a few probes. And all this time he wanted to be moving out onto the map instead of shoring up his base back at home. Dark took a 4th. Dark took a 5th. He's got Ravagers on the way. Baneling speed has begun. +2 melee attack is already completed. And herO does not have a 4th Nexus. He doesn't really have the economy to do much more than warp in a few charge lots and Archons and maybe try to max out. It's going to be a Brawler Toss army. The beefiest Protoss army you can get. Immortals, Archons, and charge lots. But Dark has enough bases to potentially overwhelm it. We will see. Here it comes. 5. There's nothing in the wall. herO. herO. herO! Oh! The Banelings are getting in. And while he's looking the other way, the Banelings obliterate the Zealots. Zerglings being slaughtered. Well, slaughtering probes in turn. The Archons are pushing through. Oh no, the Warp Prism is vulnerable. Dark is targeting it. He gets out just barely, trying to keep it together. But herO, no, the Queens, get off my... The drones are getting chased back to the 3rd. What is going on? Oh my god, that first wave of Banes just rolling directly into the ranks of Zealots. Like 20, 30 of them dying right off the bat. Maybe a few less, but still more than enough to completely hamstring that attack. Oh, herO had an army that, if you're not able to get almost exactly that, he needed to kill the Warp Prism and thin out the Zealots. And both those happened very early on. How many pylons? Well, herO is not going to be... Oh my god, he's got 200 supply of pylons. Oh no. His pylon farming. But the Zealots, herO has lost all his momentum. He played right into Dark's hand.
It's about
Oh no, he's throwing around with an Oracle. 50 to 67 workers. So now, herO's going to be rebuilding the same army, while Dark has a better army with more economy and more production. So we'll see how it works out the second time. But it is Game 5. I think if it wasn't Game 5, herO would have tapped out. But he's gonna go for one more round. And if Dark is particularly cost-effective, seven more probes. The Oracle. Dark just spraying and praying at it. More Lings, more Banes. The Archons are not enough. The Zealots are not enough. The Immortals are still not enough. It will be Dark who rampages over the field, and it will be darkness that falls on herO's chances. Dark strikes back yet again. herO takes some cheeky victories, but Dark holds it together and crushes him as time goes on. Dark, a deserved victory. Another hectic series of chaotic builds. Things that are technically cheeses, but I think are more just mental jousting between these two. I don't know if jousting is the right word. Grappling. We'll go with grappling. With that said, hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to check out that link in the description for the Harrisburg University information. Free gift card there, just for answering some questions. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I made your day a little bit better. If you got the means of motivation, be awesome. Check out Patreon, YouTube membership. But I heard liking and subscribing is absolutely free. So thank you for watching. Make sure to check autoplay. It's actually a big deal. Thank you again. Good luck. Have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.